Because I don't see it yet.
Yep, it's coming. Should be coming right any second.
Okay.
It's there.
It's there? It's there.
Yeah, I'm about to say it popped up.
All right. Hold on, let me get to my, there we go. All right. What's going on, everybody? Give me a few seconds, we'll get everything going. Hold on. I got my beautiful wife with me sitting here helping me through this. I'm not that technical savvy when it comes to these Zooms yet, but I'm getting there day by day. Here we go. We on. All right. Oh, okay. We good?
Okay. That way you can see.
Okay, cool. All right, we're there. All right. Now, everybody, thank everybody for tuning in. It's a pleasure. I want to first off starting by thanking my colleagues, Robert Langford, Clarence Ned. We came up with an idea to start the Man Up Show, all right? And what the Man Up Show, it consists of is topics, okay? The topics can be comfortable, they can be uncomfortable, they can make you disagree with it. You might get enlightened by it, but people, we want to talk about it. And I think this is a great platform for us to do it, you know? We can actually, you know, be ourselves and be, you know, and talk the way that we want to talk. So I want to tell everybody, we want to be interactive, all right? Make sure you're commenting, make sure you're being respectful, tasteful, people, no negativity. We coming from nothing but a positive place when we talk about this, okay? So no negativity at all, no negativity allowed. If you even feeling negative, you might as well just go on and hop out the live, period. So, all right, first I want to start off with my man, Robert Langford. Give us a little bit of background from
Sure.
How we all came together.
Okay, awesome. Hey, I met these brothers, you know, through a great opportunity that you'll probably hear more about as we continue to do this every week. But my name is Rob Langford, originally from Cleveland, Ohio. Now in Toledo, Ohio. I've been here about 18 years, happily married. About the same time, I got 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. And, you know, we just came together, you know, on a business aspect. All 3 of us that are here now, a couple other brothers as well. But through this business, we have developed, you know, a bond that, you know, has really, you know, helped me, especially as a you know, middle-aged Black male with aspirations of owning my own business and really having those goals of just doing more in my life. These brothers have really helped to encourage me and really make me want to, you know, better myself and really help to encourage others as well, just through that blessing. So we came up with this idea to come together and, you know, talk about things that are on our hearts. You know, a lot of times we as Black men and just men in general, we sometimes hide and we want to get behind what a man really is, and we think we know what a man is, but we don't really show it. Sometimes we think that, you know, showing emotion and all of that stuff is not what a man does. But you know, that's what we come in here for. We come in here to talk and let things roll off our chest and talk about it. That's therapy. And that's what we need, especially at this time with mental illness being more accepted in society. You know, I've dealt with it, the depression when I was younger. So it's a very important thing to do. I appreciate these brothers, man. And I really, I'm excited about, you know, what's to come. Excited about the things we're going to talk about. Some things are going to ruffle your feathers, like you said, but it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good conversation. We're not here to offend anybody, but at the same time, we're here to make people think and maybe change some behaviors. So
Definitely. So I got my man Clarence Ned. Give him a little background on, you know, how we all came together.
Well, just like Rob said, we came together through a business opportunity. And then, through the business opportunity, we begin to get closer, just having regular conversation and building a brotherhood, you know. So that's how, we got a little bit closer. We just start to really check on each other just a little bit more than just the business. We come together and have power meetings, and then it turned into a great time just reflecting, dreaming a little bit more than what we were raised in, and our society, that what we know. And so now, here we are in 2020, creating a platform for Black men to express themselves from all over. Teachers, if you're a teacher or a coach, whatever you may be doing, wherever you may be, you will find yourself in a place saying, I have so much to say, but I don't have a platform to share it. So I think this is a great platform for anybody to share positive energy. I'm married. I have 2 boys and 2 girls. Um, uh, it's like being married and a Black man and a father is serious, man. It makes me it's serious. It makes me sit and pray and cover my kids because it's totally different. So buckle your seatbelt, and I believe it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. So I give you guys a bit of my background. My name is Brandon Foster. I'm from Toledo, Ohio. Born and raised here in Toledo, Ohio. We all came together. We know business. Me and my wife had joined probably like about I'm going on 5 years now. And we what's so crazy is like me and Rob have crossed paths so many times. Me and Clarence have crossed paths so many times. So it was just God's way of bringing us together, so once we got on the same page, man, it wasn't nothing to it. We all, like I said, we all goal-minded. We all want the best for our families, and we all want to create a legacy for our family too. So this, I love the vibes that we always give when we're around each other. So I'm glad that God did this, man. This is an act of God. So definitely. Yeah, and we want to. Okay, our topic tonight. Should we just go ahead and get into
Man,
it?
let's get to it.
Let's do it.
All right, our topic tonight, people. I know there's a lot of tension going on around. There's a lot of sadness going around in the world. First off with the pandemic. Just yesterday, over 100,000 lives are lost because of the pandemic. All right, and then on top of that too, there's so many senseless murders going on right now. Right now, being a Black man in this world and raising kids is very difficult. It's a very difficult situation. It's not like how it was when I came. I know when I came up as a kid, it's completely different, So we want to get on a discussion actually talking about Black men raising kids. So let's get to it. All right, Rob, give us your perspective on what's your thoughts on being a Black man raising kids now in 2020.
Yeah, totally different. Totally different. Totally different. I just shared a story, and I'll share it with everybody. When I was coming up in my neighborhood, I really, it was a community. Even law enforcement, it was part of a community. And see, you're raising the kids.
Yeah.
Right? Want to be a part of the show.
Right.
We can't cry though. We can't cry.
No crying.
Okay. So, growing up, had an incident where a young man took my football and ran home. Went home, and I went to his house, and I'm knocking on his window, like, where is he at? He's hiding in the house. He locked all the doors. I'm knocking on the window because I want my ball. I'm gonna get in trouble if I don't get my ball back. That's how it was. So
Right.
I'm knocking on the door. I'm knocking on the front window. I'm knocking on the back door, and the kid calls the police on me. And I wasn't a kid that I never got in trouble like that. So, the police drives up. I see the police car pull up. I thought he was just coming down the street. I saw him pull up in the driveway. So, natural reaction, I run to the back like, oh my God. So he comes to the back. He gets me like, I got a call that you're harassing him. I'm like, what? Not harassing. He got my football. He like, come on with me. Come on with me. So he puts me into the car. into the back seat, and he drives me down the street to my house. I get out the car, and my mom's at the door. She sees this, and this was a white police officer. Pulls me out the car. He goes to the door first and explains what's going on, and then he comes to get me out the car. And I was looking at my mother's face, and I'm saying all that to say, when I got in that house, it was a wrap. Okay,
it was bad news.
It was bad news. But I'm saying all that to say, and I just told y'all, at that time I was more scared of my mother. I was more scared of my mother than I was that police officer. Totally different now. And my boys are coming to me and they're saying, Dad, they're seeing this stuff on YouTube and these articles and this and that. And they're like, why is this happening? Why are they doing this? And the conversations that I have to have with these young men, 11, 15-year-olds, you know, and I'm thinking to myself, my God, this I shouldn't be having this conversation. So, you know, today, you know, it's so different because you're having conversations that, you know, we should be having. Grown men should be having. You're having that with your 11-year-old younger. You know, I got friends that had this conversation with their younger kids. You know, Clarence got younger kids, so they see this stuff, man, and it's really disturbing to me because, you know, that's imprinted in their mind now. You know, that's imprinted in their head as they're growing up now, and that's their understanding of the world, the authority figures in the world. So right now, you know, I just really think, you know, the important message for them is to understand that everybody's not bad, but you do have to carry yourself accordingly. You know what I mean? Especially coming up as a young Black man today, it's nothing to play with.
It's not.
And I, you know, it's a fear in my heart now, and I know the good Lord is gonna take care of everything. Everything is for a purpose, for a reason, but that does not excuse you from having those feelings and those emotions for your kid to walk out that door, or for you to even walk out that door. Your kid may worry about you going out and not coming home, you know, for simple things. So that's how I feel about, you know, raising the young Black men and young kids today.
Right, definitely. Clarence, what's your thoughts?
I think that the perspective of how I was raised and now is totally different. When I was a young man, I was always taught to respect, you know, those who are in a certain position or certain, you know, like cops. You always show respect, don't do nothing crazy. But now in 2020, as I adjust my lens, you know, my son is not old enough to come to me, and my oldest, he don't talk that much, which means they figure it out on their own. They see all this stuff and they keep it on the inside. But then me being a father, I'm like, man, I see this stuff and it's disturbing because I don't believe we talk about it enough to say you might get frustrated when someone tells you to be quiet and stop talking after you've done everything they ask and they're still putting pressure on you. How do you handle that? And I think, you know, when it comes to being a father or just being a mentor in the community, man, and seeing young people buck back, you know, and then they get in trouble. But then in the same breath, it's like they did what you asked and you don't know where they come from. You didn't take the time to know them or even hear their story, because most kids come from a broken home. And the blessed part about all of us is we're there for our kids 24/7. So we get to rewrite the narrative. But there's other people that don't come from that look like us, and that responds in a hostile way. And there's times that, for real, honestly, when cops get behind me, I get nervous just because you don't know. They follow you.
Right.
You know, they follow you. And in 2020 now, just because like I can go on a run and may not come back home. And so that creates this world of, you know, I'm always serious. I'm always serious when I leave from my house. I'm like a lion. And it shouldn't be like that. Because when I was, like you said, when I was raised in the community, man. We cracking open the fire hydrant,
Right.
just because it was
Mhm.
we had, the cars. It was like we ain't going down that street, or we was racing.
Mhm.
We were able to be kids, and now I feel like in 2020, that's being snatched away from our babies and our young kings. And I just think is not right, and something has to be done. So
It
that's
does.
my perspective.
There
What
is.
about you?
And my thing is like you said, man, it was different coming up as a kid, Police wasn't never an issue. I know where I was from, Toledo, we didn't have too many issues unless you was out doing some bad stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But me coming up, man, it was more, I was, typical kid, man, playing football and basketball every single day. That was the goal of the day, is where we're gonna find a game to play. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And I mean, even now, you know what I'm saying, with the kids, I know COVID ain't been that big of a help, but the kids don't, go out and mingle like that. You know what I'm saying? Like how we did, but I was, even thinking too, like I was talking to my son earlier. I'm like, listen here, from here on out, whatever friend you have, I'm gonna know they parents on a first name basis. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just so I know where my kids are, you know what I'm saying? And, because like you said, man, nowadays you just don't know, you know what I mean? And my kids are different, we're different, you know what I'm saying? We're not like everybody else, so, I'm gonna have bigger kids, just like I was, I'm gonna have bigger kids, and you're gonna stick out, it was times where, when I was a kid, not even a kid, like even when I was in college, me being the bigger guy, when I come somewhere, it's like, oh my God, who's he?
Right.
And I would get approached by I would go maybe in it was one time I went to a club, literally I was walking through the club, man, the police surrounded me like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm going to,
Right.
I'm going to the bar. I just turned 21. I'm about to go to the bar. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But
Should have told him I wanted a bouncer.
yeah, right. No, I ain't security for not nobody. But
That would
no,
work
man.
too.
But definitely, man, it's just, it's like Clarence was saying, it's different now. It's almost like it's evolved, the way that we have to teach our kids. We can't teach them the way that we were taught, we can't be on them tough, because my dad used to pound, he was tough on me, you know what I'm saying? Like white on rice, you know what I'm saying? Back then I didn't understand it, but now I do, you know what I mean? Because he cared, he really, wanted me to be better than him. That's what he always used to tell me. He always used to tell me, I want you to be better than I was,
Right.
And I instill that to my kids today. But now it's different, I can't be tough on my kids. I can't, because like Clarence said, I don't want to lose my kids. I don't want them to ever get to the point to where they can't come talk to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I know that's tough, because that's all I know. All I knew was tough love coming up, you know what I mean? But, now, I do have to educate myself and tell myself I had to come at it different. I can't be, rah, 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 do this, do that. Sometimes I got to come with care and love,
Yep.
to a certain
Yeah.
point. It's completely different raising kids nowadays. And then another thing too, they got social media. They can see
Man.
all this stuff on their laptops, literally on their laptops, on their iPads. They can see everything going on in the world. We didn't have that.
Right.
We didn't know. All we knew was the newspaper, and that was it. I wasn't reading no freaking newspaper. You know what I'm saying?
You're right about it. Yeah.
I told one of my sons earlier. He said, "Well, why is this all this going on?" I said, to be honest about it, it's probably been going on.
Yeah.
Not maybe not in some of the areas or communities, but it's probably been going on. But we just didn't have these phone cameras, everywhere.
Yeah.
We just didn't have all that, So now, and then some officers got to wear body cams and all of that stuff. But it's just everything is different now. It's really and I want to ask the question to y'all.
Okay.
Why do we? There's a lot of anger in our children, right?
Yeah.
I see a lot of anger in our kids today.
Mm-hmm.
But I also see a lot of fear in the world, a fear of them. Why do you feel that fear is there?
That's a good I would say, because working with kids, I work in the school system,
Mm-hmm.
and so I deal with a lot of behavior students. They give them to me. You give them to Ned, and what I realize is sometimes because they were raised a certain way, and so that I was, whatever was planted in them or whatever was told to them about a young black king or whatever shows up, and they're afraid for no reason. Just get to know them, like talk to them. You will really figure out the root of their issue. Maybe dad wasn't there, or maybe dad popped in and out. Maybe dad is inconsistent, whatever it may be. So they have to be the man of the house.
Say it again, brother.
Yeah, they gotta be that. They don't supposed to 11, 10, 7. They're the man of the home. And when mom go to work, they holding down the fort. So
holding down the fort.
So I think that demeanor when a young man step in the room, like, I'm here, what's up, is they don't mean to be like that, but that's all they know. And once we can reposition them, say, relax, man, I got it. You enjoy being a team. Because even with my oldest, man, sometimes I got to catch myself with my wife help, because I try to put a lot on them, because I was raised to protect. Right. So I tell him, you protect. I don't care what's going on. And my wife said, you got to let him be a kid, man. So I'm learning, all the time how to just back up and say, you know what, just enjoy yourself. Go ahead, play the game, talk to your friends, do what you're going to do. And let me handle that. I'm dad. I'm here.
Yeah. You hit on a good point, man. Really having to grow up fast, missing your childhood, and that can make any young person angry at the world. Yeah. Because they're they see other people, they see other kids doing things, and that can make them upset and wonder why I can't do that, or why don't I have that. And it's not their fault. You got, like you said, Clarence, you got kids getting up in the morning, man. They don't eat. Yeah. They're going to school. They haven't eaten. And the teacher, maybe getting on them, and, I'm getting into other authority figures, right? So they're getting on them, but, child hasn't eaten.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you just take the time to find out what's going on and give them some breakfast. That's why I really appreciate some of our school systems and superintendents feeding kids now. In spite of this, pandemic, the schools were closed. But big ups to them for continuing to provide for those families, because they probably didn't have no other way to get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say that too. Like, no, I was gonna say too. Like a lot of these kids don't got the resources to thrive. You know what I mean? Exactly. And exactly. A lot of them don't. Because like you said, how would you? I know me as a kid, and I know I couldn't understand it, but coming up, you know what I'm saying? I came up different, you know what I'm saying? I didn't come up with all the riches, you know what I'm saying? Everything I had to bust my tail for. And like Rob said, I had to grow up fast. You know what I'm saying? Just because, my parents split at an early age. So it's like, you know what? I gotta be, I gotta take care of my sister. You know what I'm saying? I got to. Because if I don't know who else will, you know what I'm saying? So I had to get that role early. When I mean early, I'm talking about 8 or 9, you know what I'm saying? And like you were saying, like, you gotta think, not, a kid not having a meal and I don't know, the teachers care. I don't know how it is now, but the teachers cared when I came up, you know what I'm saying? They actually, care, and they really made it like they made a big effort to try to have a connection with my parents, you know what I'm saying? Just so they knew, they understood me, because it took me a while to adjust, you know what I'm saying? But you're right. A lot of this stuff, man, these kids they're at a disadvantage, man. So their mentality is going to be different from everybody else's. So
for sure.
You're definitely right.
And that's not again, back to the same thing. Everybody's not bad, teachers. I know some teachers that do care, but right. They're I'm just more so talking about the situations that lead them to maybe some of those emotions that they have.
Right.
the biggest part of what I'm trying to get to is the fear that is taking over in some of these situations where our kids are getting, you said it earlier, murdered.
Yeah.
Fear is taking over to the point where you're so afraid, and you've been trained, and it makes me question, and then maybe this is a stepping stone for people to take action. I don't know, but at some point, where do we say to our mayors, our law enforcement, authoritative figures, and say, what does your training look like? What is your how are you does your training include detaining people? And when you do that, what does that look like?
Right.
Right.
Does that include putting your knee on somebody's neck to the point you can't breathe anymore?
Because I know they do. I know they do teach you different trainings to protect yourself, because we gotta remember, as people that work in the law force,
Right.
they're putting their life on the line as well.
Correct.
I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, definitely.
No, I get that. I get
No,
that.
I'm saying, but it's not right. Because I had to say,
Yeah.
it's not right for you
For
to
sure.
to do with this, to see what we saw. I said it yesterday, man. To see what we saw on a live, like, this is mind blowing. And you had people around him like, "Yo, this dude is not responding.
Yeah, that was
Let it up."
That was
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like,
So do we say? I know they're training like that, but at the same time, and Brandon, you could talk a little more on it. Some of the things that you've done, but
well,
I know part of that training ain't
it's
take
not
somebody's life.
First off, it should never get to that point. Period. Point blank. It should never get to that point. Period. And like Clarence was saying, not all officers are bad. Period. Really, there's a huge percentage of officers that are positive and actually want to help people. Don't nobody want to be arresting nobody. Don't nobody want to see nobody locked up. None of that.
Sure.
You got. I just want to say that too. And at the end of the day, all lives matter. Period. Point blank. It ain't no blue lives. It ain't no black lives. No red lives. Yellow lives. White lives. All lives matter at the end of the day. Right. From my perspective, you know what I'm saying? Because we all see. The thing about it is, man, is I want to say, okay, as far as with my kids, I think a lot of things, as far as with teaching them how to conduct themselves around law enforcement, needs to start in the house. Period. It needs to start in the home, and people need to understand, like, man, I don't know, because it's hard from my perspective to say it, but I just literally want to put it out there. All lives matter. At the end of the day, all lives matter, and don't let the action of these few officers kind of like how can I say it, kind of influential or kind of like have, how can I say it? Don't let the lives of these
couple bad apples don't spoil them.
Don't let these apples spoil the whole batch of good apples, because that's not the case in this situation.
Right.
You got to think there are some positive situations that do happen when our interaction with law enforcement. You got to think about that too. It's just nowadays in this age, you got social media. People got phones. They can put out their phone right then and there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. But you got to think too, that's a very small percentage too, because you're not thinking about when they're pulling out their phones on a traffic stop where they was going 60 through a 45. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at it from that perspective too. So I just want to let it's a small percentage, but at the same token, there is no excuse for them type of situations to happen. Period. There's no excuse at all.
Right.
Yeah.
None.
I would say, like you said, self-control is very, very important.
It is.
It's just, you got to have self-control. Because I know personally, when I talk to young men, I tell them, look, that attitude and that behavior is going to catch up with you. Mm-hmm. It's a place and time for it. I'm not saying when you're upset, don't express it. Right now ain't the time. You know what I'm saying? So if we can train or help give resources to young men or demonstrate how that looks, it's okay to be upset. But it's when you go too far. it's okay to know, you got to know your rights. And I think if we get information for young men to know their rights, to know what they can and cannot do, because there's rules to it. You know, you can't smack it. You know, like an officer put his hands on somebody, they're tired of it. Do you put your hands back on them?
Right.
But at the end, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's rules to it. And you know, and sometimes I believe the rules disappear in that moment of fear and anxiety and the pressure of, I got to get back home too. Definitely. And so, you know, nowadays, like with my son or with our sons, if we can tell them, like, look, it's okay to get upset, but you got to know how to bite your tongue sometimes. Yep. And then vent. You know, it's a way that you fight. And sometimes it may not be fighting with your mouth. You might have to fight with your intelligence. Correct.
Definitely right on that one. You're definitely right on that one. And then
okay.
too. No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening to you, Rob.
No, I was saying, you know, I'm gonna be the devil's advocate here, though. I know. I just want to be sensitive to what's going on right now, you know. Okay. And I know all lives matter, yes, but our these brothers that's losing their life, you know, I believe in Black Lives Matter.
Definitely.
And I will say that, you know, I got it, because even if it is happening, I'm not seeing it.
Okay. I'm
not seeing it. I'm seeing my brothers and some sisters losing their lives, man. These brothers that's losing their life, you know. And at the same time, I've seen some statistics of other races being murdered and killed, but my kids are picking up the phone and seeing stuff on TV about people that look like them, and at the end of the day, that's disturbing.
Yes,
so
sir.
I just wanted to express that, right. You know, and I'm not saying I don't care about people at all, but you know, I know I love my people, and there's not to say because you love your people don't mean you hate everybody else.
Right. Definitely.
Right. But at the same time, you know, I'm seeing my people on the ground, can't breathe. And you know what? Nobody's life is worth taking.
No.
I don't care what you did. You know, there's a justice system. There's a whole process that we're supposed to go through. You innocent until proven guilty. We all learned that in our civics class back in the day. They still call it civics class.
Yeah.
Social studies or whatever it is. But
right.
You know, I just want to be sensitive to that, because this is getting out of hand.
It is.
And I just would love to understand what's going through some of these officers' minds. What are you know, at that time, what was going through your mind? Right. I would love to see, you know, documents on psych evals, what's going on, you know, when they talk to them. Have they done that stuff, you know? Right. I know I may be getting a little deeper, but that was just on my heart, fellas. I had
you're right, man. I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I think it's disturbing as well. It's disturbing, man. It's like I got so much to say, but it's a time and place for everything. Yep. But I would say that it's an underlying issue, and the underlying issue is showing up big time now. Like you see that we're coming off of a pandemic. People are already frustrated, irritated, and all those things. Some people like this is a blessing, but other people, they're like, I don't know where my next meal is coming. And now as we transition into, you see on the live, someone's life get took, like just like that. And then they act like it's nothing. But then you see someone not of our color stand up and say that wasn't right. So it's like, then you see, you know, it's so much that I've been seeing lately on lives. You know, it's too much. Sometimes I got to cut it off. Because it'll take your joy, your energy, and the things that you're trying to do in your positive life, because we can fall in line with it. Black life does matter. You know, everybody on this live, your life matters. And there should be no reason why you should leave out your house and not come back home, period. You know, And so I stand on that. I stand on that, and I believe what's going on. We have to stand as a people and fight back in a different way, not tear our cities down, but we got to fight back in a different way, because when we stand, we make so much noise.
We do.
Great point.
And it's powerful.
We do.
How do we fight back?
I think we all fight back. All ages, races, color, creeds, religions. Everybody does it. It just can't be one race. It got to be everybody. Period.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about it. It just can't just be, you know, black. It gotta be your whites. You gotta be your Hispanics. You gotta be your Asians. You got everybody needs to speak out. And we like we got this platform. Everybody has this platform to say what they want. You know. So
that's right.
Now I got a comment.
Go ahead.
That I want to get into. I just seen the comment now. From my man Jason. Okay, he was talking about traffic stops, and he's saying how some youth don't like to comply with the traffic stops. Okay, now I'm gonna be real with you. You know, me coming up as a kid, you know, I was always taught to comply with them. Period. Point blank. Comply with them. Answer their questions. And whatever else goes. You're right. Nowadays it's different though, Jason. You got to think. A lot of these officers feel some type of way when you take out your cell phone now. It's a big deal. That kind of puts that throws the traffic stop into a loop. Then now the officer's on the defense. You know what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying on that aspect that, you know, people should comply. Definitely, a majority of people comply, but when that cell phone comes out, the situation gets a little, it becomes different. You know what I'm saying? Especially from the officer eyes. You know what I'm saying? So what y'all think about that? What's y'all input on that?
About traffic stops? Well,
yeah,
I know
like just complying. Yeah, just complying.
most times if I get pulled over, I just have everything ready.
Exactly.
You know, there's no reason for me to fight. You know, definitely if you meet you run into good cops.
Correct.
That's not really being like, they're not pressing your buddy. They're just doing their job. And so I just do my job. Here go my license, my registration, everything is clean. All right, do what you gotta do and let me go. You know, so I haven't had a recorder stop. I haven't tried that yet.
Nope. Me neither.
My goal is to get out of there. I'm mad you stopped me.
Exactly.
I'm about to say that. To be transparent, I get honestly, when somebody pulls me over, I get upset like immediately. But I have to Clarence's point, you have to learn and control that, you know. And I'm not, you know, I may appear as that person that's always, you know, calm and cool, but inside I'm raging. But at the same time, I gotta understand, you know, this is a situation where we can either go left or we can go right.
Correct.
You know, I want to go whatever direction is the right way.
Yes, sir.
I'm going that way.
Exactly.
So, you know, there have been times, you know, officers gotten smart with me, you know, and I'm gonna be honest, I've tried to go back a little bit, but then I know, okay, that's enough.
Yep.
Keep it moving, because you're still gonna get the ticket.
Exactly.
You definitely gonna get the ticket now.
Yeah, the ticket already rolled out.
But then there's been some days the officer be like, you know what, man, there's a warning, man. Keep going.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes,
and those are those times where I'm like, you know what, hey, you know, everybody's not trying to be a butthole out here.
No.
You know, but if I let those couple situations determine, and I think that's why I get upset sometimes, because I let those one or two situations speak for all the other times. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't get stopped all the time, but you know, I think the biggest thing is to really, you know, but I think a lot of people are angry because situations have happened where people have complied, and you know, so that's where we get into the murky part.
Yeah, exactly. So at the end of the day, you know, like you said, you got to comply with them, answer their questions, do whatever they want you to do, and then, you know, whatever happens, whatever happens, get a ticket, get a warning. It is what it is. You know? Yep, it is what it is. Now let's hop on another note. Now let's talk about teaching our kids wealth, legacy, and hard work. All right.
Woo.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that part of it, because that's the hard, that's the real tough part.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Clarence, tell me a little bit how what do you instill in your kids, as far as what you're doing with the business, what you want to do with your future, and how you obtaining your goals. How are you teaching your kids?
Well, when it comes to the oldest, because like I said, my youngest son, he's not there yet, right? Just yet. So the 15-year-old, right? What I do is I have moments and I talk to him. I tell him about different ideas. Like I see he's good with creating with his hands. So I'm telling him, I'm like, you should actually keep going, like create this and put it out there. We live in a time. So when I talk about wealth, I tell him you can create something that can bring revenue to you. So I talk to him about a lot of those things, or I tell him get a portfolio, put it together, and really know, like he's good at art, right? He's good with his hands. He can draw, and I say every picture you draw, date it, work on your sketching, and create a portfolio because someone is looking for you. So like I try to put those kind of things in him. It's up to him if he's gonna bite down or not. But then he sees me, and or I explain to him, I say, hey man, this is what I do. I like to help change people's lives. We sit down, I help families. I try to unlock something in people because I really believe in helping people, so I talk to him about different angles. He get to see me hands-on too when I'm training. When I, if I'm on a call, he walking through, what is he doing? And I tell him, hey man, this is what I'm doing. So it's just I taking my time with it, but planting no seeds.
Definitely. What about you, Ryan?
That's great. Yeah, kind of on the same lines of just allowing my kids to see what I'm doing. Even we got our product promoter over here, our 5-year-old. I'm sure a lot of you all have seen her on some of either my stories or my wife's stories, man. And she loves her product, but just really involving them in a lot of things and letting them see what you're doing. And then also helping them understand, everything's not going to come to you easy. You're going to have to work. I don't care what anybody says, nothing. Even if you're going to invest your money in the stock market, you're going to have to do some work and read up and learn and understand what you're investing in. Yes, that money will make money for you while you sleep, but you're still going to have to put the work in, right? So you're going to have to put some work in. But I try to teach them those things, even understanding that before you get to a point where you're living in a nice place, you got a nice car, you're able to go out and buy clothes, and because my kids do sports and all that stuff, they're getting this or they're getting that, and I tell them, mom and dad work for that. So really helping them understand the value of the money that comes in for them to do the things they need to do. So they got to work for things around the house. They got to put some time in to get time on the game. They got to put some work in to get time on the game. I'm sure a lot of people on here that's listening, their kids play games. So, make them work for that time. You know what I'm saying? But also pull them in on everything that you're doing to help build the future for them. Now, if you're not building the future for them, then that's another conversation.
It is.
But we got to show them ways to make the next generation better.
Definitely.
Because a lot of times, and I had a conversation with my mom about this, very heartfelt conversation. She sacrificed, and I'm sure a lot of people that's listening and you all are sacrificing so that your next generation won't have to struggle.
Right.
Because a lot of times, especially in our communities, we always hit the reset button. Each generation, well, what was left for you? Nothing. We got to go out here and grind and get it on our own.
Exactly.
But we would come up in that mentality. I gotta grind, I gotta grind, I gotta grind.
Yep.
Bruh, set this up so the next generation doesn't have to grind. They can build on what you set up for them.
Exactly.
So they could get up on the step and not have to shovel the ground to lay another foundation because they had to bust that one up that the previous generation left for them. So, and it's nothing against the previous generation. It's just to say they did the best they did the best they could with what they had. But I want my brothers and sisters to continue to build and set things in motion so that the next generation won't have to work as hard. Because there are a lot of kids out here that have an advantage. Right now, their families are setting them up. And when they get out of school, they're not gonna have anything to worry about. Whereas, you know, some of us, we come out with debt. We come out, we behind the 8 ball.
Yep.
Once again, so it's just really helping them understand options.
Yep.
Understanding, putting yourself in a place where you are going to be able to have options. Educate yourself. Understand what the future looks like, and you should be helping them understand what that looks like. Everybody's not gonna go to college. Everybody's not gonna go to college.
No.
I won't say that again. Everybody's not gonna go to college, and I know everybody wants their kid to go to college, but at the same time, make sure that they understand trades. There's money out there for trades. There's money out there and knowing how to do code and all of that stuff. You don't have to go to college for that stuff. So some people are not going to always do what you did, but help them put those options in place so that when they get older, they're able to say, oh, I know how to do this. I know how to do this. Like Clarence said, his son know how to do art. He's good with his hands. But teach them how to invest. Teach them how to start a business. Teach them how to do turnkey. Teach them how to do real estate. There's so many different things we can teach our kids to get ahead on the next generation that I think is so important for us to do. So those are the things I'm working with my kids on, and I hope other people are doing it too.
Yep, definitely. Like Rob said, hey, we trying to build a legacy here, man. I want it to where like I want my kids to be straight and their kids to be good. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. You know, I don't like Rob said. I you know, we started from ground zero. You know what I'm saying? We had to work our way up to get where we had to go. You know what I mean? We had to hustle. You know, messing up and making mistakes and quitting is not an option. Period. Point blank. It's not allowed. You know what I'm saying? We're not allowed to mess up. You know what I mean?
You can't.
We no at all. We can't mess up. You know, we gotta stay the path. Period, man. So yeah, you know, it's you know, like it's tough. You know, it's different. Like I was saying, you know, earlier in the conversation, it's different with these kids and raising them. But you know, I think what we have in front of us, the opportunity we have in front of us, the resources we have can make our families prosper. Period. Point blank. And that goes for a lot of people. In 2020, there are so many resources that we all have for us to prosper. You know, we just got to take advantage of the opportunities and do it. You know, it's going to get tough. There's going to be days you don't want to do nothing. There's going to be times where you just want to sit and watch TV. But no, the grind don't stop. The hustle don't stop, period. And it's never going to stop. You know, it won't. It's not going to stop. It won't. Every day is a hustle. Every day is a grind.
If this pandemic hasn't showed us anything else, it's a new day.
Yep.
So new day calls for new ways.
Yep.
We gotta do things differently. We gotta think differently. We gotta get more creative. Your old way of making money, resources, they're starting to dwindle away. And then there are some things that you know you probably need to pay more attention to and get involved in.
Right.
Hey, that may be the way for you to continue to provide for your family and make things better for them. You know, so we gotta start opening up our mind to different things, because guess what? We're the world is so different now that we can't even be around each other like we used to be.
Nope.
So that's changing up workspaces. That's changing up the buildings that you reporting to.
Yeah.
you know, some people make.
The whole structure.
I think Facebook, they're not going back to beginning of next year. They're not going back into the office.
Wow.
That's what's forecasted right now.
Wow.
I think Google is supposed to be going back in September or something like that. So think about that. They've the whole paradigm has shifted. So
yeah.
So what are you doing to prepare yourself for that change?
Exactly.
Change is here.
Change is here.
It is, because if you don't shift, you will get stuck.
You will get stuck and left behind.
I mean, flying colors, because there's people that's very wealthy sitting behind a screen or on their phone running apps. I mean, like, it's like I always tell people, I'll be messing around, but like, it's money everywhere.
Everywhere.
Literally everywhere. Yep. A guy, he just designed me a logo, and I don't know this guy, but he's making money. You know why? Because there's millions of people that need that service.
Yep.
So when I think about the service that we have, there's millions of people saying, I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be on all this medicine. So it's like, this is an investment. This is an opportunity. And the more I kind of open my eyes to it, the more I open myself up to it, the more it makes sense. Right. So we're like it's a shifting taking place right now.
It is.
And some people want to stay the same, but I'm changing.
Right.
Right. On the change.
So,
you hit it on the head, Clarence.
All right, well, we done came up on our hour.
Yeah.
I know it got a little heated, but you know what? That's all right. That's all right.
Good.
This was a good start.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It was a good start. So let's do our last remarks. I'll start with you, Clarence. Give your last remark for today's talk.
Well, what I learned taking it from different perspectives is, yes, life is happening right now, but there's some good in it, and there's some good and there's some negatives in it. But let's not focus on just the negatives. Let's continue to remember that there's good people out there. And as we raise our young men, not just in our home, but it started in the house first. And as we take care of our home, it trickles and bubbles over into the community, because our sons can reach other people that we can't reach. Definitely. And there's a shifting that's taking place. And we're setting our children up to be a blessing for the next generation.
Definitely.
And so I got that from it.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
All right, give us your last remark, Rob.
Yep. Before we get off, I just want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in tonight. I enjoyed this. I really did. Got some things off my chest. I feel a little lighter now. But I think the biggest takeaway for me is, we have to understand the time we're in, and to shift our way of thinking, our way of doing things, and shift it in a positive way. Whether that be, dealing with authority figures, or setting up things for the next generation. We have to approach things differently, and then hold ourselves accountable to do it. Not just talk about it, but be about it. So any way you can make a change, do it. Nothing's gonna change if you don't change.
Definitely.
I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate you all for talking, and I had a great time. Looking forward to doing this weekly. We're gonna have some people coming in, man. We're gonna hit some topics. We might let the ladies do come in one day. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll have to plan that out. They'll try to take over.
Yeah, we can't have that.
We love them, but this is good talk with the fellas, and thanks again.
Hey, I enjoyed this time. This is, like I said, I love this vibe. This is a beautiful thing. I'm glad that we can talk about it. I'm glad that social media gives us this platform for us to speak out loud. Because there are a lot of people in this world that don't want to say absolutely nothing. They want to remain silent and not say nothing. Silence doesn't work no more. It's not going to work from here on out. 2020 is about speaking up and really letting everybody hear your voice. It doesn't matter what color you are. It don't matter what creed you are, religion, whatever. If you speak up, period. so you can't be heard when you're silent. So I'm gonna leave it on that note. This is the Man Up Show. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
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 Nice.